All right, once again, it's good to have you back on Everyday Life with a good Daniel Ifechukwude, but you can call me SOG the General. And on today's edition of Everyday Life, I have Solo Fight in the building. Solo Fight.
Yes, the General. Always a pleasure.
All right, Solo Fight. That was his voice. You heard his voice. Now, Sonny Bobo. Sonny, it's good to have you in the studio.
Thank you for having me, the General.
Sonny Badu?
No, never. I'm not a Ghanaian. He's a Ghanaian.
Oh, you said no, never.
Never. It can't happen. I'm a Nigerian. He's a Ghanaian. So.
Did I hear Sonny Akpabio?
Sonny Akpabio. Are you related to Sonny Tinubu?
Is there any Sonny Tinubu? Is there any Sonny Tinubu? Is it Nigerian? Is there any Sonny Tinubu? Please take the Tinubu away.
But is that Tinubu your name?
No Tinubu in my name.
All right. Today we're talking about the Jamb result that was recently released. Jamb, of course, has officially released the exam that was written some days ago, and here comes the breakdown. That's all the fight and Sonny. This might interest you guys.
Let's go.
Let's take it away. 300 and above, just 8,401. Now, out of 1,842,464 results that have been released so far, because Jamb will take some results. They keep releasing it in batches, of course, but that's what we have here. That's the stats we have here. 1,000,000, 1.8. Let me just sum it that way. 1.8, and we have 300 and above, 0.5%, making for 8,401 students or candidates scoring 300 and above. Then 250 and above, we have 77,070 candidates scoring 250 and above, making for 4.2%. Then 200 and above, we have 439,974, making for a total of 24%. Now, here comes the big one. Sonny, fight. Below 200, 1,402,490. What is the problem, Sonny?
Totally. What's the percentage? Percentage about is it
76%?
Exactly.
76% scored below 200. Where did we go wrong? Where did we get this wrong? Is it because of the post-UTME, the pegged score for post-UTME? Because most schools are now accepting less than one. Some are even accepting 140 and above. Some are saying less than 140. Just let my people go. Come as you are. That's what's happening right now. Is that a problem? Where did we get this wrong? Is it a foundational problem?
Jamb actually jammed a lot of people this time. You know, a lot of people jammed them. We can imagine about 76 or so. You know, getting below 200. Yeah. It's pathetic because as the year goes by, they keep lowering the standards. Then it has to be. There was a time it was 200 and above. Yeah. Not even 200, about 210 or so and above to get. Even to be qualified to write pursue UTME, in some universities. Why some 200? They never gone below 200. So as you know, they started seeing the outcome of the performance of these children, and they started dropping the standard. It has dropped so low that still many children cannot cope. The problem I will attribute it to the parents. Okay. The parents, of course, the teachers, the school, they have a role to play. But this problem, I will attribute it mostly to the parents. Now you are a parent and you have children all around. Sometimes the father, the mother, because looking forward to, on a daily bread, looking for their daily bread, they don't have time for this. They don't know the activities their children engage in. They don't know. And sometimes some people that have time, when a child comes back, they never bother say, bring your book. Let me see if you drew the Martin. Bring your book. Let me see your books. Let me see if you actually remember to write dates. Bring your books. Let me see the classwork you did in school, what your performance was. Parents don't care. Then I used to have this friend that anytime his father goes to school to bring him home. Anytime they get inside the house, the father will say, the mother, go inside. Leave this room for us. The woman will just go inside to be the son and the father. Now the boy will bring out all his books. Everything he was taught that day, he will open them. The father will say, did you draw the margin? Did you write the dates? What was your pass percentage today? Did you copy the notes you were asked to copy? On a daily basis. And sometimes the man sets questions regarding what was taught for his child and see the performance of the child. He does this regularly. Because of that, this boy had to imbibe this culture of always following whatever is happening in school. Always. And it helped him in his results. Now, parents don't care these days how their children perform. And when they go to school, you see a child performing below average, and you go to school like, pass am now, small picking. I'm good now. And you go, and sometimes the social media has equally played a vital role in the mass failure that we are seeing nowadays. You know, you give birth to a child in primary school is making use of an Android phone. Why? The question is why? You hear them say the internet helps them. Okay, if you want a child to learn via the internet, what's stopping you from getting that child a PC at home? Either a desktop computer or a laptop computer, not a mobile phone. Allow them to make use of the internet, because if the child is making use of internet at home, the child will not spend the whole day with the PC. If he or she has something to do regarding the education, you go there, you carry out your research, you help yourself, and when you're done, you shut down. But with the mobile phone, the child will be there even in your absence, because you cannot, most times, most parents don't care to monitor what their children are doing. Except you make use of parental control for those that, like you make use of parental control. But you're not there. You're in your room, the child is in the room making use of mobile phone. What is the child doing on social media? You don't, because the content these days to put out on social media, many people put out, it's not advisable for children to be there. And once the child is so engrossed with the social media because he or she has a mobile phone to make use of, this child forgets about education. Their performance begins to dwindle, and the parents don't care at all. And I will take it to the aspect of most of the private schools. They don't fail children. Then there's a child fails. You see the parents. My dad of blessed memory, he did it. Come back to my sister. Come back and repeat this class. You are not qualified to go to the next class, and of course you have to repeat that class. But nowadays, private schools, they don't demote.
They don't fail. They don't repeat them again.
Now they don't write out scores again. If a child is in first position, second position, or third position, sometimes you see two children struggling with the same position. Yeah. It's no longer there. All you see is pass, promoted. Pass. We don't see fail anymore in private schools. And private schools, they are not helping matters. And if a school, maybe the child is in a government school that manages to fail a child that isn't doing well, you see the parent come and start making unnecessary noise. Why would you fail my child? I'm taking my child out of this school. Are you helping that child? So parents, schools, social media, they are contributing a whole lot to the mass failure, obviously.
All right. Thank you, Solofite. Now, sorry, I'm coming to you now. 1.8 candidates.
1.8 million.
Not 1.9 sat for the exams. 1.8 and some numbers.
I don't know the stats.
Results have been released. But Sonny, guess what? You're not even guessing because you already
I'm aware
from the record, the statistics. 1.4 candidates scored 199 below. They didn't get to 200.
Yeah.
What's the decline?
Yeah, the decline. I think Solofite mentioned of jamming. Jamb has been jamming people before. If not now, it has started for a very long time. But they scale through. You see the way, the determination, and most of them scale through. But this time, the zeal to pass the exam, people will go and read and all that. Then it was not a computer base. You go there, they give you your paper. Of course, you write and everything. You submit. But now they made it so easy for them. They made it because the thing is not. It's not just OBJ objectives. Get your stick, whatever shade, whatever you have to shade. Then, but now computer help you with the aid of the computer. You do it. So Jamb has been jamming people, but some people will still scale through. But this time around, I think most of them, they relax. They don't feel they want to scale through. They just stay there. But for me, this whole thing is a big problem in our society right now. Because for me, I think, yes, though parents will share 80% of it, but I think the remaining 20 will go to the society and this educational system. Now, this society, in the aspect of the, okay, so I just made mention of the social media and all that, and all that, and that one is a big one. Now, as an adult, you and I know that it is very difficult, challenging for you to lay off your phone for a while. As an adult, with your responsibility, with everything you are doing, not to talk of a child who does not have anything to do, and you are making provision of that child. You are giving the child an Android phone to be used for what exactly? I don't understand. Primary school. Let's not even talk. Primary school, they have an Android phone to use it for. What are you going to use it for? Now, these kids, they get this because they are the whole lot. Now, you can't scroll down your social media. Let's use, for example, Meta, the Facebook. You cannot scroll down. You can't just scroll down maybe 2 posts without seeing cleavages, news popping up. Now, you are an adult. You can manage that. You can control that. Now, don't talk of a child seeing this like, of course, they will see the boy child and all that. Seeing things like that, how do you expect them to react? They want to, because they will be carried away. They want to know more. They will go and dig deep and know more about those things, and those things will take their attentions. Now their job is just to eat, wake up, eat, because their parents are providing everything for them, go to school, study and all that, but they don't do that. They get carried away with the social media things happening. You see them now, everybody wants to be a content creator. Most of them now, they want to go to, they're on TikTok dancing, trying to twerk and all that. So this is what they are doing. This is what they are doing, and living the most important aspect of which is education. Now you see the mass failure. The mass failure is because most of them, their attention is divided. Most of them they are looking at them as celebrities, they are looking at people at the top, and they want to they're not knowing that these same people they are looking at, they also have education, so they just want to be there. Thereby their attention is being divided, and they don't care about school. Most of them will come out and tell you that school not scam, school not be anything, not be anything. How many they will even ask you a question. You went go school now, what you they do, how many cars they drive? I see one body when we say a child, he was riding a bike and was telling his friend that very soon the car will start with some GLE. It's not even say GLK, that you start with a child in the secondary school saying that you start with GL. What exactly are you going to do that? So most of them, they are being carried away, most especially by social media, and also their parents. I remember while growing up, my uncle works a shift, night and morning. Whenever he's on the night duty, I'm always very happy that this man will be away. But if it's on morning duty, I'm very sad, because whenever he comes back, he will say, "Oh yeah, Baba, bring out your book. Bring out your book." We check everything. So I don't know if you can remember in my school, when I was in school then, when we come to school, our teacher will count our 2A, 2B. If you tear any one page, you will collect the cane. Then we used to fold our book. Then if you fold your book, because you don't want you to write on it. If he sees any if he sees any biro on that book, maybe you write mistakenly, you will collect one cane for each line of the biro. So these days they don't do that. Parents don't want their children to fail. Most of them, most especially in time here, parents do competition to where they take their school to one of the highest paying school, and that is what they are focused on, forgetting the main aspect, which is the child education, intellect and all that. They don't care about that. So the parents need to do better. They need to do better to make sure that our children come out in flying colors.
All right. Now you mentioned it. Let me come back to you, son.
Okay.
Would you attribute this year's failure, massive failure, to the school scam thing of it, the school scam saying of a thing? Because when we look at most graduates now, they are jobless, and they have younger ones who are writing Jamb, who are writing YA and NECO. So most of them get discouraged because they've seen they've seen people, the elderly ones, who left school so long so long ago, and they haven't gotten jobs to date, and they are like, what's the point of going to school when I can't even get a job after I'm done with higher education? Would you attribute it?
So they should also look at the other way around. Okay, that I finished school does not mean that when the job comes, then I won't be employed. Now there is a two-way thing. That's why I said 20%, 80% to the parents, then the other 20% to the society and the educational system. It is the educational system, because if you finish school, you are supposed to get a job. Now let's go back to the 80s, the 70s, where parents would just finish our parents, once they just finish secondary school, they don't even need to go to the higher institution. They beg them, okay, this job is waiting for you here and that. So if the society, the educational system have made that available, I think they will not be discouraged. But one thing they should also look at, that no effort is wasted. Now there's a situation whereby there was a story that happened that they said, okay, there was a time when I finished my ND, I said I won't go again, let me just look for something, one hustle or two. And my friend said, guy, go buy HND form. He better say they say now result. He get result. He better say I don't forget. I don't forget. They say many not talk say you know go school. They call it down. They can't say all those kind of things. He better say they say he go school. See, go give him that job. So that one day. So even if we are the society, the educational system in this country, no job and all that day. So there are things. There's one day. There are days where opportunities will come, and if somebody will like, okay, fast forward your CV and all that. So they shouldn't be discouraged. That shouldn't discourage them. Their job is just go to school, do the necessary, and come out with flying colors. That is just it.
All right. So now there's a debate currently on. The Minister of Education, Tahim Maman, has said that these students, some of them are too young, because he has looked at the number of students in school, and he says that most of the social varieties happening in school, they cause it because some of them are not even up to 16. That the benchmark should be 18 years and above. That if you're not up to 18, you shouldn't even sit for Jamb in the first place. But the Senate, the Nigerian Senate, has countered that, and they are saying that 16 is the benchmark. Once you clock 16, you are eligible to write Jamb. Would you say this failure has anything to do with age, or what's happening with this higher institution, what's happening in the higher institution has anything to do with age?
We have young scholars. We have young professors. It's not about you getting to a certain age before going to university. Of course, previously we know that you have to cross your hand. If your hand touches your ear, then before you know you are capable of going to school. But no, it starts from the grassroots. They say if the foundation is faulty, a little could the righteous do. Now you have a child, you have to build a foundation from the scratch. Pay attention to these children. Let them know that, of course, education is not about you getting a job. No, that's not the reason why you go to education. They say it's in learning and in character. Of course, going through the 4 years of university emotes you. Going through school, when an educated person is speaking and when an uneducated person is speaking, there's a whole lot of disparity. There are some places that you can present yourself, an uneducated person cannot present himself there because he doesn't know what's going on. Now, people attribute to money. You go to school, how much you get. No. That's the way society has made it to look like. But that is wrong. It's a very, very wrong notion. And you see parents in front of their children saying things like that. School, I don't go to school now. Not because I have to go to what the mother has, what the children as well. I know your child is looking at you. You know, children, they pick out whatever they learn with the C, they pick it into their head and it sticks there. Now, it's not about age. If you start building this child, pay attention. It's not everybody are capable of being parents. It's not about procreating. Giving birth to a child doesn't qualify you to be a parent. What role do you play when the child is growing up? Because you need to put your eye down for these children. You see somebody correct a child, a teacher corrects a child in school, spank the child and flog them, and they come out and say, child abuse. You pick up your phone and start making videos in school. They beat up my child. Come on. What sort of parent are you? And the child is smiling. Yes, that's my father. That's my mother. And tomorrow the teacher sees your child going haywire. You think the child will have the guts to come and correct that child? The teacher won't do that. You allow the child to, go the direction that he or she wants to go. They say spare the rod and spoil the child. The rod is meant to correct the child. Parents nowadays, I will attribute even 100% to them. They are the sole reason why children. Look at what happened the other day in the school when the child had to, jump the school fence to go drink somebody's palm wine outside the school. They cautioned the child. The parent came and was upset with the teacher that cautioned the child. You can imagine such a parent. What message are you passing to the child? Yes, that's my daddy. My daddy will fight. But come on, this child will go up to be something very, very terrible. That at the end, you'll be the one to regret the actions you took when they were younger. Because you just have to pay attention to their education. If there's a child I know of, this child was in private school. The child was passing, promoting. I'm like, okay, at some point, the father had to say, no, I'm not convinced. The result is not showing the child exactly what is seeing in the child. Let me take him to a different school. So the father took him away from the private school and took him to the government school. That was where the real results began to show up. Like, my picking, the attitude of the child's learning process, and everything reflected in results.
Of course, the private school, they love the
now I know, say, they do am. The result was deceptive in the private school because they don't want to fail you. If you fail, parents get upset. Why did you fail my child? Your child is not well doing. So because of that, parents go to avoid losing school children to other schools.
Yes, they private school, they don't want to lose people.
So when the child went to the private government school, the child's real results started coming out. The father, okay, now I know the performance of my child. Now I know where I will start building and start teaching this child. Because previously, my pequeño Noam, he was passing. But when the child talks, he cannot even write. And the child is passing and passing and passing. So private schools, social media, parents mostly, don't give your child phone until your child is getting to the stage of getting to university. That's the right thing to do. So you have your various opinion, though, but I feel that's the right thing to do. If you want them to make use of internet, buy computer for them.
You know that this year's Jamb, there were a lot of technical glitches here and there, and also some have said
submitting.
Some also say that the computer submitted itself. It just, of course, it didn't even give chance for you to just do your thing. You just had to, before clicking, it already submitted itself. And so many people do not have the chance of, it's computer based. So once the system submits itself, that's the end.
Yes, there were glitches, but that wasn't the sole reason for the failure.
Scheme of work as well. Most of these syllables haven't been reversed for a very long time.
Come on, General. Come on.
So don't you think
the ones we have we learnt it? Have we learnt the syllabus that we have currently? You're talking about reviewing it, bringing in new existing things. You have not learnt the one you have. You want a higher one. Come on now. You should be able to learn the one that we have first.
So, Sonny, you don't think scheme of work has anything to do with these syllables that haven't been revised for a very long time? The same syllabus you used in secondary school is what secondary
schools are using. In as far as I believe in changes, bringing new things, but they need to know the ones that are there before. Yes, I think I totally agree with Solofa. Now, talking about the glitches, about submitting and all that. Now, one thing, there are people, students who are coming from secondary schools that are in a remote area, maybe in the village, and most of them, they are not used to computers. Most of them can't use it, even if they go for that CBT training and all that. Once they're in front of these computers, they are kind of nervous and all that, because once you log in, your time starts. So when it submits for you. So most of them are just there. They're just looking, not that they don't know what to do, but I think it's something that the school needs to look into and make sure that these people, they are well ready for the exam. And also, you talked about the age difference and all that. For me, I think there are people who are genius, no doubt about that. Of course, we know about a Nigerian family in the UK, the Imafidon family, who are at a very tender age. They have their BSc, they have their masters, they have their PhD and all that. Yeah, there are people like that. But sometimes I think age has something to do with that too, because most of them, they are not matured, and when they go into school, they go there, they misbehave and all that. So I think the age different, the age they are trying to talk about, at least they are talking about 18 or is it 20 and above. I think
it's 16 is cool.
I think it's okay. It's better that, because most of them, they don't really know exactly what they are going to school to do. Yeah, most of them don't know that. I think their age is okay for me.
All right, we're still talking about this year's Jamb, and that's what we'll be discussing here in the studio. We want your input on this very matter. We want your take. We want you to see your beats, because come on, you just cannot. We just cannot overlook this very one. This year's failure is massive. 199 below. You having 1.4 million candidates scoring below 200 out of 1.9 candidates who sat for this year's Jamb. So please leave your comment and make sure you share, like, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. My name is EverydayLife, better known as SUG the General, and I had Sonny and Solo. It's been EverydayLife podcast here in our studio. We see you some other time.